2021 Intense Tazer MX. This is the Pro build. So it comes with the Ohlins suspension. I've had this bike a couple weeks now. I've been messing around with it a little bit, starting to get the better feel for it. Dialing in these fantastic DHH or Downhill 38 M1 forks. They got a ramp up chamber down there. I tend to run that pressure right where they recommend for my weight. I'm 6'2", 190 pounds. But I run the upper chambers quite a bit softer, and that just gives me that suppleness at the top of the stroke. The rear shock, I'm running pretty much where they recommend, sag and clicker wise. Super plush in the back, finding traction. I love the Mullet. I love this big 29-inch front wheel. It rolls over the rocks. The small 27.5, which is a little wider rear wheel, tightens up the chainstay, kind of makes that thing corner good in the tighter stuff. This is they call it a large, extra large, but it's really an extra large. Like I said, I'm 6'2", 190 pounds, but I like the reach. I think the reach on this is 505 millimeters, I believe, and it feels really good. Handling wise, I just like the way these tasers feel, just the way they're set up. I like these Renthal handlebars. The location of them, I think they got a 30 mil rise, which is really nice for me. The Magura brakes work great, ODI grips. But today I'm riding it the way I'm a moto guy at heart, so I like riding my dirt bikes. Now it's getting to be winter here in Ohio, so I'll set up like little loops here near my house where I can just go out and ride, and kind of like a GNCC loop. It's a little bit tricky. I have a couple creek crossings, and they don't always go right. It's really, I'm amazed how tough it is to ride in these rocks. It's hard to get traction. I spun a little bit there, but the rocks are a little tricky going over, and of course once you get the brakes wet, they'll talk to you. But I like setting up loops where I can come and do, say, a 30-minute, 45-minute session, maybe even an hour sometimes. And with the different assist levels, eco, trail, or boost, you can dial in the amount of workout you get, which is really nice. And again, like I said, I'm a moto guy at heart, so I feel like these e-bikes, and especially these tasers, give me a real similar experience to moto riding. They feel, jumping off my dirt bike onto this just feels real natural, and having a trail and some loops near my house where I can go kind of do a moto is really convenient, and it's quiet, so I'm not really bothering anybody. But this suspension, you can dial it to where you want it. It's so tunable, especially that fork with the ramp up pressure. You can have super plush at the top of the stroke and still have good response at the bottoming resistance. There's another option. Sometimes I'll do that. It's a long downhill, but this is the loop I'm doing today. It's kind of like going out moto riding. I'll cross the creek up here. I'll go back over on one of my other trails. But this is what I think one of the coolest things about these e-bikes is. You just go out and set up a little loop, and it's kind of like doing an enduro or a moto. I've ridden these things around moto tracks before at my buddy's house. Just do laps and decide how much, dial in your heart rate with the assist level. And I've had quite a few of my buddies try this bike out. When I'm at the moto track, I bring it with me, and I think everybody comes back pretty amazed. Number one, how light it feels. I think this builds like 51 pounds, this XL with the dual crown fork. I think if you get the regular fork, it's a couple pounds lighter. But that's not that heavy for full suspension e-bike with a lot of travel. This one I think has 170 up front, 155 in the back. But yeah, I'll set up a lap and then just start a workout. So 2021 Tazer MX. Dig the mullet. Big front wheel, little rear wheel. The geometry on this bike is really good. I think it's like a 64-ish front, and the seat tube's pretty steep. It's got a great dropper. I love the Renthal bars, the Magura brakes, 4 piston brakes. You can easily take the battery out to charge. As it gets nice and cold here in the winter, it makes it nice to charge the battery in the house or keep the battery in the house before we go out riding. So far, I'm totally digging this Tazer. It's a lot of fun. It literally is like a dirt bike. 2 big thumbs up.